Welcome everybody to an all new episode of On My Sports. As always, it's your boy John J, and with me once again is my dogs EJ and Big Money Sonny.
What up, though?
EJ, what's going on with you, boy? What's going on with you, EJ? How you feeling today?
Good. How you guys doing?
Man, blessed. How about you, Big Money? How was your week?
It was a 49ers Chiefs Super Bowl. It was a dream come true for me.
I heard that. I know that's right. But man, like you say, hey, we had a wonderful Super Bowl, and I know you happy either way, however it played out. And shout out to Shawn Michaels, LFG. You already know how to get the show going, Brody. How you feeling today, Shawn Michaels? But man, y'all, as always, we gonna go ahead and kick this thing off with the last thing we saw, and that Super Bowl. And I gotta be honest, for me personally, for about 2.5 quarters, man, that thing was hard to watch. I ain't gonna lie, it was some sloppy ball, but it was
great defense, man.
Pause.
Yeah, great defense.
It was defense, but it was also some sloppy play too. But then all of a sudden it kicked off. It got hyped real quick. By the second half of the third quarter, and in the fourth quarter, it went nonstop. And then of course we got an overtime showing. It's always a good thing to get overtime in the Super Bowl. But EJ, I'm gonna start with you, man. What did you think about the whole event, the night, and your recap?
Well, first and foremost, man, let's go here. Let's discuss, man. What was Usher on, man?
You know what? A lot of people have been talking about that. That's only thing I would say to that is I've seen an Usher performance live. I've seen an Usher concert, and that's what he do. If you got a problem with Usher doing that, you probably didn't want your old lady doing the show in the beginning. That was to be expected.
Right.
I know exactly what you mean, though. That would be hard for a lot of people, although Swizzy came out already and spoke on it.
But look, Usher, but going to the halftime performance, Usher put on an overall great show. I mean, I think Usher did it. He definitely did a great job overall. But going to the game, let's get to the game. So, in my opinion, being a defensive guy, it was a thing of beauty. I know people were like, man, what a scoring at. But if you remember 2 weeks ago, I stated that I believe that the game was going to be a defensive battle most of the game, and then you're going to start seeing the offense open up, and it was going to come down to big time defensive play or a big time defensive stop. And to me, I believe the mistake that we have to chop up was Coach Shanahan getting the ball first. I believe that was a mistake. I believe that you don't give that guy, and we know what we're talking about, the GOAT, right? He's the current GOAT, and he's going to be the GOAT when it's all said and done, But you don't give that guy a chance to win the game, So, in my opinion, the better move would have been, let's give Kansas City the ball, and let's give our defense, right? No knock on Purdy, no knock on that phenomenal offensive line, the plethora of offensive talent that the San Francisco 49ers have. However, you put that defense in a position, let's see if we can stop them, all right, or hold them to a field goal so that then we can come down, right, and potentially tie it or win the game. But giving the ball to Mahomes, to me, last, to me, that was a mistake. Let them get the ball first, put the pressure on them. He comes down, the Chiefs come down, score a touchdown. All right, we have to score a touchdown. Then we're going to see what Purdy's made of, right? But I just think that when San Francisco, I looked over to my daughter, when San Francisco elected to have to open up with the ball first, I said, it's over with. When Mahomes get it, they're winning. And that's what, a GOAT did what GOATs do.
Yeah,
Overall,
and KC had won. They won the coin toss, but they deferred, so they gave them the option, and San Francisco did choose wrong. I agree with you there. Big money. What you thought about it?
I love seeing I love talking to everybody and seeing what they saw and things from other people's perspectives. I love that. See, I agree with EJ a little. You know what I'm saying? That was cool and all, but the defense once Dre Greenlaw went out, bro, it wasn't the same. Look, let me break it down for you. So what I saw was this. There was opportunities for San Francisco to win the game, but this is what happened. This is where Shanahan erred to me, bro. It was Shanahan error, but I don't think him taking the ball first was an error because I heard after the game, Mahomes and them said even if they scored 7, they were gonna score 8. So it didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? He's MJ. It didn't matter what they did. He was gonna top whatever they did. So with that being said, let me tell you what I saw. So Shanahan erred because he got away from the running game. Trust. They was gashing them boys, and then CMC fumbled. Lady Luck poked her head in. Boop. He fumbled. So Shanahan kind of got away from it. Check it out. He had a 10-point lead, and this is what Kansas City did before Dre Greenlaw went out. They went punt, fumble, punt, field goal. You see what I'm saying? And then Dre Greenlaw got hurt, and then Lady Luck poked her head in again, and the ball bounced off somebody's foot, and then they scored, and they had the momentum, bro. That's all it took. So, in my mind, he erred because he got away from that running game due to CMC fumbling. When Kansas City couldn't get nothing going, we was holding them. He didn't make them pay, and they kept trying to pass on the number 1 pass defense. It was ridiculous. But yeah, it was a great game for me too. I didn't think it was a dull game. I thought once Pat got down 10, that's the number for him. If you go back to all the Super Bowl victories, when he gets down 10, he goes crazy. So I thought I had a lot of takeaways from it. I knew Kansas City would win because of Lady Luck, but Shanahan could have took it, and that's the thing about a Super Bowl. You got to take it. You cannot let them hang around like that. I just think, my takeaway from it was Pat did what he was supposed to do, and Brock Purdy showed 200 million people that he's the real deal. You know what I'm saying? My favorite part was after the game with Andy Reid and Nagy and Spags talking about how they went in the half and was like, this dude is shredding us. You know what I'm saying? You know what? This is what we got to do. We got to adjust. They was praising Brock Purdy. I got a lot of family in Kansas, and after the show, I'll be riding up there to go to the parade tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be repping with them. That's my squad for real. But I got a lot of family that was calling me like, hey, who is this dude who's this number 13? He's a pistol. Well, I didn't watch a lot of them. Hey, he's like that. A lot of people was like, you know what, this dude's like that. I seen a lot of hate on TV. But let me tell you something, bro. Brock Purdy showed the world. I told JJ last episode for the fans that was watching, he won't lose the game. And he didn't lose the game, bro. He did everything he could do. It wasn't his fault that Lady Luck kept popping her head up. It's not his fault that Brindle missed Chris Jones. How the hell you don't block Chris Jones and they got a breakdown and Ayuk is open in the end zone? It's not his fault, bro. Trust, he showed everybody I'm that guy. Not only did he show you he was that guy, he showed you that he belongs this year. For this year, he belongs in the top 5. He was a top 5 quarterback all year, bro. And he showed you. He didn't blink. He didn't budge. He didn't have a crucial mistake. He showed up. He looked Pat in the face and was like, I can play with this dude, but it's Michael Jordan. There ain't nothing you can do, bro. It's Michael freaking Jordan. Simple. Shout to the 49ers. They had a great year, but it's Pat's world, baby. You know what I'm saying? He's Michael Jordan, bro. And a lot of people don't win chips on Jordan's watch. What can you do? It's a great season.
Yeah, it definitely was. One thing that I noticed, and you were right. They did stop going to the run game. CMC was having a nice effort. He had that fumble, but it was early enough in the game.
Stick
I
with
love
it.
the trick play to Jennings. I thought that was awesome. And shout out to Shawn Michaels. He says Brock put the world on notice. Brock showed the world that he is on the same level as Josh, Lamar, and Burrow. Proved that he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. So I like it.
Just this year, though.
But
When I say that, I mean this year. I don't mean he's a top 5 forever because we don't know. This year, he was a top 5.
I would say that it's trending in the right direction.
Right.
He although he can't get in, he's not extension eligible yet. He definitely earned himself some money this year. But it was a tale of two halves. I mean, Brock Purdy showed up first half. He was dynamic. But like you said, those guys made the right adjustments. And then in the second half, it was more of Pat's game.
Right.
But one thing that stood out to me, and I wanted to get you guys' take on it. Before the game started, I had heard that Andy Reid had Kansas City practicing like crazy the whole time off and even the morning of the game. But then I heard the exact opposites from San Francisco, that they were allowed to rest a lot more. And I was wondering, do you guys think that had a lot to do with those injuries that kept popping up for the 49ers? Maybe they weren't as loose as they should, as fresh as they needed to be.
I don't know. I thought it was I thought they just didn't practice a lot because they didn't like the UNLV field. I was tapped into it, and they was complaining a lot about that field. Kansas City got to practice on the Raiders practice facility field, which is, it's the turf that same turf they use at Allegiant. But the 49ers they had Gucci Road and all of that. The UNLV facilities is nice, but the field was trash. They said it was spongy. They didn't like it. I just felt like, injuries are a part of the game, and that's that lady luck thing that comes into play,
But
bro.
I actually heard that about even before they made the trip, even before they got to Vegas, that the 49ers didn't really work out as much. And we know the week of it's going to be hard to work out because you got all of the interviews going on and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I thought that maybe that could have played a role in it. What you think, EJ?
Yeah, it just seemed like the 49ers were way more relaxed. But to me, like kind of going over the overall theme, though, I believe the end of the day, what it was this: 455 yards was the key number. It wasn't no lady luck like my man saying down there, man. Look, the end of the day, the rest, no rest, extra practice, extra preparation is always great. Some coaches tend to, play it safe with injuries, especially if the injury reports never give out the full detail if someone is like just having a little have aches and pains. So maybe that played a lot into it. But I believe 455 yards is where the game was won or lost, and that was Patrick Mahomes. And we can't get away from the offensive play calling. All right, that the Chiefs had, especially the game winning score. But overall, the Chiefs went ahead and they shredded the 49ers secondary. All right. And got to give kudos to the offensive line of the Chiefs. They slowed down the pass rush.
Whoa. See, what was you watching? Because look, there was a lot of holding that they wasn't calling, but that's neither here nor there. I'm telling you, look, bro.
Definitely go both ways. It was missed calls, but at the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes shredded the 49ers secondary. And again, what did I say? That the defense was going to have to come up big when you give up 455 yards, because think about it, the rushing yards. The Chiefs had 130, San Francisco 110, which to your point, I believe the mistake that the 49ers made was going away from the rushing game. I believe that would have forced the Chiefs to adjust, and then you can attack the Chiefs over the top because the Chiefs can ball hawky going after interception. So I believe that was a mistake. But again, then look, first downs. The Chiefs had an additional first down, 24 over 23. But here go the key number. Time of possession, 38 minutes. Went 38-31 for San Francisco, 36-26 for the Chiefs. So the Chiefs are more efficient in less time. And once again, to me, Travis Kelce waking up, them getting Travis Kelce involved, giving the ball. Look, they gave the ball to their playmakers, and Patrick Mahomes, again, 455 yards. If this does not solidify him as the current GOAT, I don't want to hear about Burrow, although, hey, I love the game of Lamar Jackson. Don't want to hear about that. Aaron Rodgers is a player of the past. Right now, there is no one on this young man's level. How old is Mahomes? Only 28 years old?
28, yeah.
It's scary. And if you look at the numbers, and I don't want to prolong it, maybe that's for another show, but if you look at the numbers, comparing him to Tom Brady, hey, we're witnessing what I believe in 10 years. Look back, we're witnessing, and I'm going to throw this name out there. Everyone says Michael Jordan, LeBron James of the NFL. No. We're witnessing potentially the Wayne Gretzky of the NFL, because Wayne Gretzky, there is no contemporary that can compare to him, right? There is no the gap between Wayne Gretzky and anyone else in NHL history is so wide. You don't even mention no one else. You say, okay, we know who the GOAT is. Who's second and third? I believe that's the position that Patrick Mahomes has set itself up to be. So no lady luck, no, we practice more, they practice less. At the end of the day, that feared defense of the 49ers got shredded by this era and potentially the GOAT overall.
But why though? Why did it get shredded? Dre Greenlaw. They was controlling them, bro. You got to keep it 1,000. They was controlling them until that happened.
Was different too, that second half.
That happened. Once that happened, it was a wrap, bro. And look, while that was going on, never forget, bro. Punt, fumble, punt, field goal. You got to run the ball. You got to punch it in. You can't kick those field goals if you're the 49ers. They blew their opportunity. They had look, as much as I agree with everything you said, bro, Shanahan blew the game. You run the ball, you stick to the script. This is what we do. You run the ball to pass, bro. You have to. And I don't care what you say, bro. Lady Luck is always with Pat Mahomes, bro. It's not even an overtime game if his extra point don't get blocked. That's luck.
But
that's luck, bro.
But that's
to a little bit of luck. You have to have
to the Kansas City Chiefs defense. I mean, you know how difficult it is to block an extra point or block a field goal. You know how difficult that is. That's kudos to the Kansas City Chiefs defense.
Bro, that was pure luck.
Oh, it's not pure luck.
You could say that was kudos to the defense, but actually I would put that on Moody. Exactly. It was a low kick.
See, that was a low
kick. He kicked it low. I wouldn't say that's Lady Luck though. That's something that Moody has had a problem with this season. So that was kind of something.
Nah, bro. No, it's not. Look, he didn't miss. He was 68 for 68 on extra points. He didn't miss those.
But he also missed the field goals. What, 2-3 of them throughout this whole postseason run?
Yeah, but he only missed 4. I'm talking about extra points. He hadn't missed one. That's on him.
Yeah, but the kicks in general, he got a habit of kicking it low. At least these last few weeks, he was kicking it low.
No doubt.
And I think that was a big issue. Like you said, if he would have hit that extra point, it would have forced KC to have to go for a touchdown instead of that field goal to tie it up. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm saying, look,
I will.
I'm gonna say this
The
again.
thing that I would say, that you can maybe call luck, even though it's just how the ball bounces. I mean, literally. But on that kickoff, when the ball bounced and hit and
Oh
hit the
my
49ers
God.
play on special teams,
That
that was a game changer. That was
was
a
it.
game changer.
Bro, the very next play, touchdown. And they had the momentum the whole rest of the time. That was it. Yeah, that was it. That's the game.
Listen,
Like,
I'm
you
gonna end
can't do
with
that.
that right
You
here.
can't have that.
You have to eliminate the lady luck talk when you do this stat. The Chiefs are the first team in NFL history to defeat 4 of the top 6 teams in the regular season point per games in a single postseason. All right. That's not luck. At the end of the day, the Chiefs they made just enough, right? I mean, they made just enough big defensive plays and had big stops when it mattered, all right? When San Francisco, again, it's huge when you have to settle for a field goal, but it wasn't settling for a field goal from the perspective of that we failed to do something. It was settling for a field goal because the Chiefs secondary eliminated the vertical attack. So in that second half, it was an adjustment offensively and defensively. So I believe that the coaching staff of the Kansas City Chiefs put them in a position to say, listen, all we have to do, put us in a position to do what? Give the ball to who? Patrick Mahomes. If our offense has an opportunity to drive down, right, to tie it, which they did, right, and when we went to that overtime, again, the Chiefs defense stepped up, allowing Patrick Mahomes and the offense to execute and win the game. So settling for field goals, key third down stops, we have to give kudos to the coaching staff and great, to me, elite coaching in the second half.
Yeah, but you sitting here telling me with a straight face that the worst, the most penalized offensive line this particular day did not get one holding pick. Man, that is lucky. Stop, bro. That is luck. The worst offensive line penalty wise in the league today does not commit one holding call. Bro, that
Clutch
is luck. That
team,
is pure luck.
clutch,
I saw, wait,
clutch
hold up.
team in the
I
clutch, my
saw
man.
I saw number 74 tackle Nick Bosa 4 times. They didn't call. Tackle that man. Tackled him. I saw number 65. I saw him choke hold. I saw him put a sleeper hold on somebody in front of the ref. No flag. That's luck, bro. There's always luck involved. Trust. It's skill because when you get your opportunity, you got to be able to execute it. I get that. But in order to get those opportunities, you needed this lucky break to happen, bro.
Hey,
Trust. He's
once
great,
again,
but Lady Luck rides with him on every
hey,
occasion, bro.
listen, I'm gonna tell you what Lady Luck is, right? It's in the words of the Temptations, just my imagination, right? I'm gonna tell you why. This is no Lady Luck right here. Patrick Mahomes, right, is the only quarterback in NFL, the only quarterback in the last 30 years to go 8 for 8 or better with 27 plus rushing yards on any single drive in any game, regular season or postseason, and the man did it in overtime to win the Super Bowl. That's no lady luck, my man. That's just called greatness. It's called
Yeah, I'm
greatness.
not. But see, look, you're missing the point. I'm not talking about that. That is greatness. But in order to get that opportunity, some lucky shit went his way.
Man, if we go back and watch that game, you know how many calls that look, you know how many calls of the Chiefs fans can say they missed the holding, or that was holding, that wasn't holding. You know
Nah,
how many
look,
penalties that it
I'm
look
not, bro.
that's
Listen, they're
if we
both my
dissect
teams.
anything, it can go both ways, man.
Bro, they're both my teams. All I'm saying is they got
Oh,
more lucky
with that
breaks.
49ers in the background, brother.
Yeah, but at the beginning of the season, I had the Chiefs. I switched it at week 8. I'm just saying, look, they got more lucky breaks, bro. That's just luck's always a part of it. It is, bro.
I
Okay,
mean, and
well,
I will say in any championship run, everybody's got to have a little bit of
You
luck on
have
their
to.
side.
Like Lamar,
But
bro. Lamar
I
was
I,
just
I also
unlucky.
agree that it was a well coached game by Kansas City, and
Oh, hell
skill
yeah.
definitely was a big
Man.
factor. But hey,
Hell
everybody,
yeah.
you got to have a little bit of luck to get to this level.
You have to.
And hey, you got to be willing to accept that. Things, the ball bounces how it bounces. But EJ, I know you had mentioned earlier when we were talking offline that you wanted to get into some Travis Kelsey talk. You want to pose
Yes.
that question?
Yes.
yes, I want to get into this Travis Kelsey talk. All
Come on.
right.
Come on.
Now, listen, I I'm a sports fanatic, sports nerd.
No doubt.
I talk with passion. I'm also a coach, right? I coach 3 different sports, and I
Mm.
coach with passion. I understand being passionate, all right. But the question I want to pose to you guys and to the audience that's listening in live or will be listening in later, right? I want to pose: did Travis Kelsey go too far, in you all's opinion, with the whole incident between him and Andy Reid? Now, after the game, Andy Reid chopped it up pretty much to like, Andy Reid is a player's coach. All right. So Andy Reid chopped it up to Kelsey being passionate. He caught him off guard. That it pretty much alluded to the fact that it really wasn't that big of a deal. And if it was that big of a deal, we know that Andy Reid would never handle that publicly. Kelsey, has had a couple run-ins with like a teammates in the past. And again, but the Chiefs, they handle those things behind closed doors very well. So I was never expecting, especially with a Super Bowl victory, Andy Reid to take the spotlight off of the repeat. However, I want to know: do you all believe that Travis Kelsey went too far? No, not necessarily with being passionate, like, man, put me in the game on that fumble play, like he should have been in, but it was the pretty much grabbing Andy Reid and kind of grabbing him to get his attention. Do you believe that any player putting their hands on the coach, regardless of how their relationship is, because Kelsey and Reid have a very tight relationship? Do you believe that he went too far?
I'll kick that one off. And shout out to Shawn Michaels. He say white privilege for real, for real.
Come
And then
on.
shout out to Chris Ursay. Chris Ursay said if he was a black player, it would have been everywhere in a negative light.
Come on.
Um, so I will say that I understand a lot of the pushback that he's been getting. I've heard some of the fans say he assaulted him. I'm gonna be honest. When I first saw it, I laughed. My first reaction was it was hilarious. But like I say, I understand a lot of the pushback. Who was it? It was another player. I can't remember that tweeted. If it was him, he would have been suspended from the league. I think that
I believe it was AJ Brown. I believe it was
yeah,
AJ
AJ
Brown.
Brown. It was AJ Brown. You're right. But I think that I can see how it's perceived that he went too far when he put his hands on the coach and the coach was unsuspecting. But I also understand in that moment you're fired up. The the momentum is there. You angry that you wasn't in there. I think he probably could have did it without putting his hands on the guy. But like I said, when I first saw it, I didn't have any thoughts towards it being too far. I just laughed. I thought it was hilarious. But maybe I got more of a twisted sense of humor than most people, so I could understand that. But there was also a spat between Pat and Rashee Rice too for
Yes.
missing him on the open pass. So
Yeah.
I mean,
And those things happen.
it was just
The
an
big thing is
intense
just
moment.
just the putting the hands on. I mean, that's what's stirring the controversy and the buzz, was that putting your hands, a player putting their hands on the coach. That's what made him more. If it was just a shout match, it still would have been talked about. But I believe just him actually grabbing Andy Reid to get his attention was the thing that everyone is like kind of pointing about.
Bro, I laughed too, JJ, but it was bogus as hell. And it hurt me as a fan of both teams. I was like, damn, Travis, you better than that, because you down bad right now. Because they popped dude and got that fumble, and they was seeing it slip away. The dynasty was slipping away. He was over there
Yeah.
buckling under pressure. He reminded me of a nigga finna break. The police done broke him. He finna tell everything. I was like, damn, Travis and them breaking. Hey, look, bro. That Greenlaw, boy, when Greenlaw was in there, they was breaking the Chiefs. They had the momentum. I swear the Chiefs was folding over there. They was folding, bro. I was like, damn, Travis, don't go out like that, bro. And then it pissed me off because after the game, it was just like nothing. They were trying to make it something, but it was really white privilege. And I was like, any brother would have did that, grabbed the coach, motherfucker, you should have had me in, whatever he said. I was lip reading and shit. It looked like he said motherfucker. I was like, damn. Hey man, it was bad. It was a bad look. And they ain't gonna do nothing about it because we know he's a Caucasian or whatever. I love Travis though. But if we would have did that, bro, man, it would have been a fine. They would have took a game check. You would have probably been suspended the first game of the year. All kind of shit. You probably would have lost an endorsement.
I agree.
Stephen A. and then would have been going at your head because his white bosses want him to. It would have been all kind of shit. Like,
I got a question though.
Agree.
Can I ask one question before we move on? Man, listen. I gotta say this again. I have to say it, man. Listen. At the end of the day, right? Patrick Mahomes. You know, you said they were panicking. Like I didn't panic. The time. I didn't listen. I wasn't spooked. If you understand that there's only been 7 double-digit comebacks, right, in Super Bowl history. Guess who has? Well, at the time it was 2, but now 3 of them. Patrick Mahomes. Listen. This is what these boys do, man. They wasn't sweating that. Look, it's like in boxing.
No, they was sweating that, bro.
Listen, man, they was not sweating.
Look, let me tell you why they were sweating it though.
It's intensity, man. When you look, when you feel like I should have been in the game, or you feel like, man, look, you missed me, I was wide open. When you feel like you cut your route off short, all right, or you feel like, man, you missed the tackle. It's part of the game. Coaches, players, they're going to interact. They're going to be packed. The Super Bowl.
I get that, but that's not what that was, bro. That's not what that was. Look. That's not what that was, bro. Trust.
It was passion,
at that moment
man.
in the game. You know what that was at that moment in the game? Oh my gosh, here we are again with that team. They look like the team that had no business being there. The team that drops everything, leave the league and drop. That's what they was looking like at that point, bro. They was like,
I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you this. I respect the 49ers, and I love defense more than offense. So I respect the 49ers, right? In that great defense. However, I'm gonna tell you what. Listen, they say, look, they keep us around long enough. If Detroit put up points on them boys, we gonna put up points on them boys. I'm trying to tell you, adjustments were made, but they didn't feel like they was out that game. It wasn't a panic like, oh, this gonna get away from us. Look, as long as you got 15 there, right? And then Kelce, I went now. Do I think he should have touched his coach? No. However, at the end of the day, man, find a way to keep your playmakers in the game and give them the ball. And what happened that second half? Your boy Kelce went crazy. All right. So I don't think and you heard what they said. They going for that 3P. They going for that 3P. Those boys were not intimidated. Them boys did not feel rattled at all.
Bro, they was rattled. Stop, bro.
Man. The boys were rattled,
bro. That man, at that moment, that man was ready to tell it all. I don't care what you say, bro. He was finna go in there and snitch on everybody. Trust, that dude was broken. They thought it was over at that point. Bro, they couldn't do nothing. Punt, field goal, punt, fumble. Bro, on 6 straight possessions, they couldn't do nothing. They were in the middle of that. They thought they were doing nothing. Look, I'm not saying that. Look, I'm not talking about Pat Mahomes. Pat never buckles. Travis Kelce was buckling. That's all I'm saying. Not Pat. Travis. He had 1 catch. Bro, at that point, he had 1 catch. He was looking stupid. Taylor Swift was like, why am I dating you? 1 catch, 1 yard. Come on.
It was
so
good.
I want y'all see the question in the comments. Huh? Big Money, you see the question in the comments? Chris Cersei said he got a question. Do y'all think the league is rigged?
No, I don't think so. I know it's controversial.
That, you know what? Like that.
Listen. You know what nipped that all in the bud was this right here, right? When that leak came out about the Ravens and 49ers, that's why I was so glad. I was so glad it didn't happen, right? Look, on Just Fans Talking Sports, you got people that say the NBA is rigged and this team is listen. At the end of the day, now on a serious note, do we believe that illegal sports gambling goes on, players betting? you better believe that some of that stuff happened and people have got busted. But I don't, just me personally, I don't believe that there's a script that the NFL and people are signing these non-disclosure clauses. I mean, think about it. This is a violent sport where people are putting their literally, I mean, like head injuries. I mean, some injuries, right, can be life-threatening or life-altering to rig. I mean, I don't believe, me personally, I don't believe that the NFL is overall rigged. And I know some people are saying that the NFL needed the Chiefs to win. The NFL, the whole Taylor Swift thing is she's a plant that was planted there to, for the favor of the Chiefs. I mean, look, at the end of the day, to me, when I hear talk like that, it's a discredit to these players who go out there and actually put their safety at risk. Yes, they're making millions of dollars, but at the end of the day, the NFL is not rigged. My point. That's my point.
I agree. I couldn't even say that. You
I
said
agree.
that.
That's a great point by Shawn Michaels right there. That's a great point. People hate greatness.
Yeah.
That's why they say it's rigged. I believe. I definitely believe that. I believe that.
Yeah,
we better enjoy what we see.
People just hate when you so good. They just find reasons to start not liking you. It's crazy, bro. Yeah, I seen it happen to Jay-Z. Totally saw it happen to Hov, bro.
Yeah. In fact, we talked about it leading up to the Super Bowl about how teams didn't want I think it was the 49ers when they played. It was teams that was against them winning. I want to say it might have been the Detroit game. But it's always going to be something that someone is not going to like, and the first reaction is going to be that it was a setup. But yeah, like Shawn Michaels said, people hate greatness. That's why they say it's rigged.
I'm gonna tell you something right now. If it was rigged, Josh Allen would have been had a Super Bowl. They love him.
You're right about that. They've been crowning him for the last 4 years.
And Josh Allen a ball, he just don't get the clutch factor, man.
That's it. Yeah. That's all. Yeah.
He ain't Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, he ain't got that GOAT factor.
Nobody got that.
Let's moving on. Let's move on to the world of the NBA.
Yes.
And that NBA trade deadline. It
Boring.
came and it went. It came and it went this past Thursday. Now I'm glad you say that. Boring. There weren't a lot of marquee names, but I didn't think it was boring. I thought it was very action packed. The reports was coming across all day. When I was getting them, I was sending them out to you guys, showing you. It just wasn't the big marquee names because the biggest names had already went with the OG Anunoby and the Pascal Siakam. I think Buddy Hield was probably the biggest name to get moved on deadline day, but I thought it was still a flurry of moves. I really liked the Pat Beverly to the Bucks. We talked about that a lot, that they needed a defensive guard. But just speak to what you saw in that. Did you see any? Did you have a favorite out of all of the moves? I'm gonna start with you, EJ. Even though I know you said it was boring, but did you have a favorite move? Anything that moved the needle for you, whether it was a big name or not? And let's include the previous trades, the Siakam and all of that, because that's still a part of trade deadline.
All right. I would say, well, let me say this. I believe now. I know it's gonna get a lot of flack, right, from the Chicago fan base, but I believe that the biggest move, well, from my opinion, my perspective, as far as like context of teams, was the Chicago Bulls not making a move, right? Because I know everyone wanted the Bulls to make a move, but move what? Now with Zach LaVine and with the whole you can't turn a blind eye, right, to the fact that the Bulls were playing some very efficient basketball, and I'm a LaVine fan, right, but playing some very efficient basketball without him, right? Came back, he was feeling his way back in. However, the Bulls, them not making the move for them to make was LaVine, because I think he wants out of Chicago, right? But the injury prolonged that. There are some people even saying, even with him opting for surgery, it was like he's doing it to avoid being traded to Detroit, because it looks like that was going to be the trade. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. However, I would say that the Bulls just making a trade just to make a trade that wouldn't make didn't make sense. All right, they want to stay competitive, right? So to me, that's what stood out the most because I believe that Chicago, with the way they're playing, right? I believe that they can not just sneak into the playoffs, but I believe they can have a first round upset, and you hear it first here, right? They're allowing the young boys to play. Ayo, they're giving them a chance. Kobe White, who should be the player, who should be comeback player of the year, or most improved player of the year by far. With LaVine being out, against is no knock on LaVine, but the Bulls are playing more efficient. I believe they're making a mistake with the inconsistent playing minutes of Andre Drummond. I would love to see Drummond minutes continue to increase. But overall, to me, the Chicago Bulls not making the trade just to make a trade is going to pay off dividends for their playoff picture.
See, to me, I think there's a lot I like about them not making moves. Although LaVine, that was the move that everybody expected coming up into this time, but once the injury happened, it pretty much was off the table. Nobody was going to deal for somebody that's injured for the rest of the season. But I don't know if I might have considered, and I don't know what the offers were, what was on the table, but I might have considered a DeRozan or a Caruso trade. One, because DeRozan is going into his free agency year, and he's definitely going to want to raise. And the Bulls are at a position in their salary cap where they can't really make any changes where they're at. And the reason why I say Caruso is because he was probably the hottest commodity we had. More teams, almost everybody wanted Caruso. Drummond was a big name also, but Drummond is somebody that I hope they re-sign. I think Drummond fits perfectly there.
Did you see how much they wanted for Caruso?
Yeah, that they say that price tag was really high. That price tag, they wanted like 2 1s or something like that. But I think that was because they didn't want to trade him. I think that just when you see a high price tag like that just means that they don't want to really move you. And I can understand that. I like Caruso. He's the best defensive player on the team. He's probably the best defensive point guard in the league, possibly. But I would have been interested in seeing the value. I mean, I didn't say guaranteed, possibly, but his value in the defensive backcourt is immense. The pressure that he generates. He was first team all defense last year, I believe, and it might be trending towards there again. So I don't think that's that far fetched to make a statement like that. But I like I said, I really liked the Bucks move and getting Pat Bev. I thought that was what they needed. Like I said, we talked about it over and over again. Them getting a defensive stopper in the backcourt was vital. That makes Giannis and Brook Lopez's job so much easier. I was surprised though when I saw them get rid of Robin Lopez. I wonder what Brook's reaction to that was. And
somebody, brother.
The Philadelphia 76ers move and getting Buddy Hield, I liked, although it's more valuable if Embiid comes back. I like it more with Embiid.
No doubt.
It doesn't move the needle too much right now, but anytime you can add more shooters, I thought that was a pretty good move. So I like that. Big Money, you got any thoughts on it?
Yeah, it was whack because of the names, like you said, but I like the PJ Washington to Dallas move.
Yes, that was big.
Yeah, that was my favorite. And then I like the homie Thaddeus Young going to Phoenix. I think that's gonna be crazy. I think that's yeah, I like that move. They
And
need
Thaddeus
one
Young
more.
was originally traded to the Nets, but he
Right.
got released and he's going to Phoenix. That was a
I
part of
like
that Spencer
I like
Dinwiddie
to
move
see
also.
Phoenix making a move. I picked them, so I want them to do good. I picked them to win it this year, but I don't know. But I feel like they need one more. I see they trying to get Bowl some tech. I like it. But yeah, they need one more piece and then they'll be all right on their bench. And maybe they
Yeah,
can
and
go
the
for it.
Knicks were very active too. They went real wing heavy, but
Right.
then afterwards, we saw that who was it? OG, I believe, was injured, so he's gonna miss some time. So I guess that answers why they went so wing heavy. But Alec Burks going back there, another shooter, and Bojan Bogdanovic. I thought Bogdanovic is a nice fit for that team.
No doubt.
And don't forget about the Mavs getting Daniel Gafford, another defensive big,
Oh
another
yeah, I
shot
like
blocker.
that.
That
I
was a
like
big
that
one
move
too.
too. Yeah.
So I mean, I agree. It wasn't.
Definitely a team around Luka.
Yeah. So I agree. It wasn't the funnest from a big name perspective, but there was still some efficient moves, some really good moves. OKC getting Gordon Hayward. Thought that was a
Yeah.
nice. That was a nice
If he
pickup.
That's
plays,
slept on. That's really slept on, bro. Watch.
Yeah.
if he plays, I mean, he's a good player. If he plays, though, I mean, we got to health is
True.
unfortunately.
True.
Can I ask you all a question though about this?
What's up?
Do you believe that the NBA are implementing the having 10 spots, and do you believe that played a big, or it's going to continue to play a big factor moving forward with NBA trade deadlines? Because if you think about it, like again, going back to the Chicago Bulls, they're like the poster child for this, right? That in the past, if you're a fringe on the outside looking a fringe team who's stuck in mediocre land, who's like fighting for the 8th seed, now with having a 9th and 10th seed, right? You can probably say, you know what? Especially in Chicago, playoff games, right, equals more revenue, which is the bottom line. So the bottom line gets impacted if you're in this tournament. If you're in the tournament, you extend your season, right? Those are extra games. That's extra revenue. So who is going to? So I believe that some teams are going to be persuaded to, if it's not a move that's really going to move the needle, that if we can stay in contention, right, that it can pad our pockets from the owner's perspective, but also from like a general manager or president of basketball operations perspective, we could potentially land a free agent if we're a team who's consistently in the playoffs. So do you all believe that the current NBA playoff format is a reason why we may not see a lot of moves that we've seen in the past at the NBA trade deadline?
I think it has a lot to do with it. There's a lot less sellers because a lot of these teams feel like they're still in it. I think another big reason for that is look at the Miami Heat. Miami Heat was in the play-in game last year as the 8th seed and made it all the way to the finals. So that feels like to everybody that the door is open. But Big Money, what you think about that?
Nah, I agree. He hit that. That's right on the money, bro. That was money. Yeah, hell yeah. That's exactly what it is. And I didn't even think about it like that either. When he was dropping it, I was like, ooh, that is exactly why the trade deadline sucked. Straight up. Because like if you like he said though, like if you're in the 10th spot, you still in the playing tournament. Why are we giving up? Like LeBron and them from that spot, one of them spots went all the way to the Western Conference Finals. Like, just saying, like, yeah, that's facts, bro.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I think the door, everybody still feels like the door is open for them. Everybody feel like they got a window.
Yeah.
So yeah, I
And
think that plays a big factor.
I so hope the mighty Chicago Bulls can knock somebody off in the first round. Come on. Damn.
I'm calling it.
Yeah.
It can happen. And I'm just not being being a homer pick. And look, being a homer fan, I'm being honest. I believe that the Chicago Bulls has a potential, depending on what seed they get, with the right matchup, it could happen.
What's the right matchup?
Depending on how with this whole Embiid situation, if you see a Chicago Philly matchup, I can see Chicago winning that. I can see,
I could, but I don't think that's a possibility. That matchup, I don't think that matchup is a possibility. Because right now the Bulls are sitting at a play-in team. Now, not to say that they can't move up to number 6, but more than likely you see them finishing somewhere in that play-in. In which case they'll
to be honest,
Milwaukee or Boston if they make it out of the play-in.
Right. Well, I mean, like if just any round, first, second. Now, of course, to get there, they would have to, defeat. And between those two teams, and it's gonna sound crazy again. Giannis is definitely, if not my favorite, he's definitely my top three favorite players in the NBA. But I can see the Chicago Bulls. If between those two, the Boston and Chicago, I'm sorry, Boston and Milwaukee. Milwaukee is with this is gonna sound controversial. Damian Lillard, I don't looking back, I'm not sure. We have to see, right? And I would love to see Milwaukee win another title, but I'm not sure. Well, before okay, let me say this. Pat Beverly, the addition of Pat Beverly, hey JJ, you were on point with that one, my man. That was huge, all right? Because defensively in that backcourt, there was issues. I'm interested to see in a 7-game series, will we have a conflict of interest when it comes to who's taking what, how many shot attempts and how many sets are being ran for who? And you could potentially have an identity crisis going on in Milwaukee, and the Bulls could be primed to make a little upset there. Okay, I know
it's definitely a possibility because they're not the same team without Drew Holiday. I thought that was the heart and soul of that team for the last few years. But one thing Bulls still have a problem, although I can't say still because this year they've done a lot better with it, but they've historically had a big problem with size with the big teams. And that was one thing that Milwaukee has an abundance of. Now, earlier in this season, when the Bulls beat the Timberwolves, one thing I did like was that Billy Donovan went with Vooch and Drummond starting together. I thought that was dynamic, but I don't know that they can do that with consistency in the playoffs because they don't have any size coming off the bench. So I definitely thought that was something they could have added in the trade deadline, is getting some more size on that team. But yes, I wouldn't think it. I don't think it would be crazy to see them upsetting a Milwaukee. It's not likely. I believe that is a hot take, but it wouldn't be crazy. They've historically had an easier time with a Boston team though, just because of the size matchups are better in their favor. But yeah, hey, it could happen. I tell you what though, right now the Bulls are sitting in the 9th seed. That play-in is Miami, Orlando, Chicago, and Atlanta. There's a lot of fire in that play-in right now. And at the moment, they're about 3.5 games out of the number 6 spot, which is held down by the Pacers at the moment. So it'll be tough to get the matchup that they want. Right now, you're looking at Philly, looking at the Knicks, New York Philly series. That's gonna be fire if that happens.
Hey, without Embiid, Knicks in 6.
Without Embiid,
or without
a
fully healthy Embiid. Like if Embiid, I mean, he's not gonna be fully healthy, but if Embiid is 40-50% of himself, Knicks in 6.
Yeah. In fact, I would go so far as to say if without Embiid, they might drop a little farther. Indiana might pass them by.
Yeah, I can see that. Indiana's a fun team. It
wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, and they still haven't figured it all out yet. They still learning each other. So once they get it, once Halliburton learns Siakam and some of the changes they made since he's been out, I think that team could be dynamic. So
do you see the Pacers moving? You see the Pacers moving up to potentially getting the top 4 seed, maybe?
It's possible. They 3.5 games out of number 4 right now. The Knicks don't seem to be dropping too fast, even though they lost about 3 straight, but I think they'll right in the ship. I think on Anunoby is hurt for maybe 2-3 weeks possibly. So they might be able to catch him in that time. Indiana definitely has the firepower for it. I love the way that team is constructed. And like I said, we got Halliburton is finally back now from his injury. So It's definitely possible. It wouldn't surprise me. That was my expectation when they made the trade, that would make them a contender, and I still feel that way. Although they don't have a whole lot in terms of defense, but I like Miles Turner. But they absolutely can do it. That's a team that can fill up the scoreboards easy, real easy.
Right.
And it's a hard team to compete with, to run and gun with, especially in a 7-game series. So that team could be a real problem.
Be a real problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's move along. And this weekend, we got the NBA All-Star weekend. The festivities are upon us. I know you guys looking forward to this game. I like the way the teams played out, although I wish Embiid and Julius Randle were healthy. Julius Randle, that's another injury that I did mention for the Knicks, so they could slide. But big weekend ahead of us. Jaylen Brown in the dunk contest. How about that? That's interesting. The dunk contest hasn't really been that fire. It's lost a lot of luster, but I'm curious to see what he could do. That boy got some high flyer. And Matt McClung is coming back to defend his title. Definitely looking forward to the Steph Curry versus Sabrina 3-point matchup. That'll be fun. The 3-point and the skills contest have overtaken the NBA dunk contest as far as what people are looking for most on Saturday night. So check out this the 3-point contest. You got Malik Beasley, Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, Damian Lillard, defending champ, Lauri Markkanen, Donovan Mitchell, Karl Anthony Towns, and Trae Young. That's a hell of a lineup. Who you guys got favorite to win that 3-point contest?
Hey, I think Ice Trae has a chip on his shoulder because he made the All-Star team as a replacement. So don't be surprised if you see Trae Young come out there and and win it. Like, look, I should have been voted in. I should have been selected as a regular All-Star pick, not just a replacement. Which I want to kind of go back to that. I want to mention that when we go to these rosters in a few minutes too.
How about you, Big Money?
Yeah, I got Trae and Dame in the final, and Trae gets them. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, I like Dame as a possible repeat champ, but don't sleep on Cat. He's won it before, or Lauri Markkanen. Yeah, and shout out to Halliburton. His hometown gonna have the crowd hype behind him. Guys can get hot off a situation like that, so don't sleep on Hallie. But
and see,
I like
look,
Dame to repeat.
Yeah, I can see that.
We lost EJ for a second, but yeah, Big Money. I like the idea of Dame doing that one again, and then the skills challenge. The skills challenge has become a real fun matchup, a real fun event. You got teams in this now. You got team Pacers, team top picks, and team All Stars. So team Pacers, the home team, got Halliburton, Benedict Mathurin, and Miles Turner. The team top picks is full of number 1 overall picks: Paolo Banchero, Anthony Edwards, and Victor Wembanyama. And then team All Stars: Scotty Barnes, Tyrese Maxey, and Trae Young. So do you have a favorite in that group to come out and win that skills competition?
I hate to say it. I think it's the Indiana squad.
Yeah. I tell you what though, them top picks though, that's something to watch. Paolo, Edwards, and Wembanyama.
I wanted to say that, but the cohesiveness of that Indiana squad, they're gonna get it
True,
done.
true.
But
They do
Wimby,
know each other.
bro, I'm loving Wimby right now. Man, so he
Yeah, I
scared me,
think all
bro.
of those guys. Well, I tell you what though, I ain't gonna lie. I like all of these are good teams. Cause Team All Star, Scotty Barnes, Maxey, and Trae Young, that's a fire one.
Let's
But
fire, bro.
I think Scotty Barnes might have a hard time hitting the deep shot.
Yeah.
He might have a hard time hitting the deep shot, and that's the situation where those Pacers might come through with it.
Yeah.
They
See,
at their crib.
that's
They
why I
at their
picked them.
crib.
I had to pause and think about all the events, and I was like, you know what? Yeah, they're gonna do it.
Yeah. What about the Steph versus Steven? I mean, versus Sabrina. Who you got on that one?
I it's tricky for me, bro, because I don't like what I heard, and I want you to. I need some clarity on it. Is it true that Steph's shooting from NBA range and she's shooting from WNBA range? Is that true?
Um,
Because that's what I heard. Like on the side, she's shooting on it's regulation WNBA, and he's
yes.
shooting from NBA. See, I don't
Yes, that
like
is the
that.
truth. Steph is shooting from the NBA line and Sabrina is shooting from the
She's in
WNBA line.
closer. You see what I'm saying? She's in closer, so she should win. And I don't like it. It's not fair, bro. They should be shooting from the same distance. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you on that one. I agree
Right.
with you. It's not a clean competition if they shooting from two
It's
different
not,
places
bro.
and
It's not
using two
clean.
different balls. He's using the NBA ball and she using the WNBA ball.
See, that's janky. I think it should be even all the way around. So I'm up for it though. I don't hate it. I just didn't like that aspect of it. So I don't want to hear no trash talking from all the ladies if she ends up winning because she's in closer. So shut up, ladies. I love y'all. Happy
But you're
Valentine's
right.
Day.
It's not an even competition. I agree with you on that. I would have loved to seen it more from them shooting from the same spot, same
Yeah,
basketball.
right.
Um.
Same money
So yeah,
ball.
I don't like that.
Yeah,
So
that's the
we
part I don't
still
like.
no matter who wins, you you still won't really get a legit winner, so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
Um. So Steph is in a no win situation.
Right.
But
But I like the spectacle though. Like I'm even hoping like I hope he beats her and then next year they let him go against Caitlin Clark when she comes out. Come
yeah,
on,
that
let's
would be
do it
fire.
again. Yeah,
That
that'd
would
be
be
fine.
fire.
Yeah, so I'm here for it. I just didn't like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a competitor. I don't like that little competitive advantage that she got from the shorter distance and that little small ball they use. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Right. This
So
is an NBA event. Shoot with the regulation ball. Shoot from the same distance as Steph, and let's see what you got. Straight up.
no doubt, no doubt. So the slam dunk competition, we got Jalen Brown, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Mac McClung, and Jacob Toppin. McClung is of course the defending champ. Who you got in that?
I'm taking the defending champ. I think he got some tricks up his sleeve. He gonna bite all dudes' dunks again, and he gonna come in with some stuff we ain't ever seen. So I'm expecting him to come in. I mean, this is the only time of the year we get to see him. He put on the show last time. I want Jalen Brown to win because it's Black History Month. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm just keeping it real. I think dude gonna come in. You know that one dude from Canada that he stole all those dunks from? He's like a professional dunker. He got the like Ronaldo flip, bro. Them was all his dunks. But nobody, the casuals don't really know that. Us basketball junkies know that.
Yeah, hey, if you could
So
pull it off in front of the world.
yeah, it's yours. So I think he gonna come out here and Macklemore the situation and win.
I although I'm inclined to go with you on that. But I think I'm gonna go with Jalen Brown on this one. I think
Okay.
I'm gonna go with Jalen Brown because he's such a powerful, aggressive dunker, and if he can land what he wants to land, I believe the style factor is gonna work with him. People love to see that how he spikes the ball with his
Mm.
ferocity.
He come with
So
that Dominic, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
if he come with it, I think he could win. So
no doubt.
I think I'm gonna ride with Jalen Brown on this one.
I like it.
But and then of course we've already broken down the teams in the game. Who you think gonna win between the East and the West?
I got the West. It's just too much size. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm East. I'm from the East Coast, but I think the West is gonna dominate this thing. Like, it's gonna get ugly for real.
Yeah, the Western Conference definitely has some size.
EJ's
Even
back.
more
What up,
so now
EJ?
without even more so without Embiid playing,
Right.
or Randall. I think the East they replaced them both with smaller guys. Scotty Barnes is a decent size. He's a decent size replacement for Randall, but
No doubt.
they definitely missed out by not having uh Joel there. And EJ, we got you back, but no sound at the moment.
Damn.
But yeah, I definitely like the size that the Western Conference is coming with. I think they got to be the favorite. I think I'm gonna pick them with you. What about MVP? Who's your MVP?
Jokic or Luca. Luca's gonna show out, bro. It's Luca's MVP this year.
I
Yeah.
like it.
I think
I
Luca gets
like
it
it.
this year. Yeah.
Um, who's the oldest MVP ever?
In the All-Star game?
Yeah. Do you know?
Off the top,
I can't think who's the
is
oldest,
it
but right now I think I'm
is
kind
it
of leaning
Jordan?
towards.
Is it Michael Jordan? Did he win one in his late 30s?
I I can't remember.
Remember he hit the game winner on Kobe?
He hit. Yeah, I do recall him hitting the game winner.
I don't
But
know. I can't
where I'm
recall if he
going
was
with that
MVP or
is,
not.
where I'm going with that is, I like LeBron's chances. He always seemed to go for it.
You know
Uh,
what? You know what?
I could see him going for that thing.
Nah, hey, you know what? Can I change my pick?
Yeah,
he
you
yeah,
could.
he LeBron gonna go platinum, bro. You right. Yeah, he's gonna overdo it. He like he always does. He gonna pad the stats. He's the stat padding king. Yeah. Brian, man. Brian. And I
Yeah,
think you know what? You right, bro. They gonna let him. They gonna gas him to do it. Yeah. Yeah. Brian might get this thing.
yeah. EJ, you got your sound back yet? Still no. Still can't hear you. Still can't hear you. But yeah, I like LeBron's chances in that. KD gonna be shooting for it. KD always likes to be the one to come and steal it from LeBron because he
Oh,
want that glory. He want that glory. But I got LBJ doing that one.
no doubt.
Yeah, I think he's still trying to answer a few questions at this point in time in his career. So I like his
He
chances.
he needs all he can get to claim his stake as the GOAT too. So yeah. If Jordan
Yeah,
didn't get an MVP when he was 39 in the All-Star game, yeah, I can hear him now. Yep.
and isn't that's the Kobe Award, right? Ain't that the
Yep.
Kobe Award now? So
Yep.
he gonna want to bring that back home to LA,
Yeah.
to the house that Kobe built. Um, so moving along from NBA All Star Weekend, um, last week we had the fight between Teofimo Lopez and Jermaine Ortiz, and it ended in a very controversial decision.
Uh,
Very controversial. What did you think about how that thing came to a close? Big Money, and I'm talking about the Teofimo. For y'all who aren't aware, Teofimo Lopez got the victory by decision,
it was
but
ugly.
yeah, it was controversial.
It was very ugly, bro. I didn't like the decision at all. I didn't like Teo on the mic afterwards. Like, it was just a shit show. Excuse my language. But I get where you was coming from earlier when we was off air. But I mean, the sport of boxing is hit and don't get hit. A lot of times these Latino fighters and I don't want to sound like I'm picking on them. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not. But they like to when they lose fights, they like to say stuff like how Teofimo was going off like, hey, don't disrespect my sport. You get in here and you stand here and you fight. Bro, that's not boxing. Boxing is a sweet science. Hit and don't get hit. You got hit a lot and couldn't hit, dude, and he had you frustrated and he ran a lot, but he really won that fight. And I don't like how the judges scored that fight, bro. Like he lost that fight, but I
Yes.
get like you gotta knock the champ out and all of that. But at the end of the day, bro, you can't give Teofimo the win if he didn't earn it. And I know dude ran a lot, but he like when they was punching in the exchange, like he was the one that was hitting harder. He got the cleaner shots off. I thought Teo was sloppy. I thought he took dude for granted. I thought he lost the fight straight up. And he looked like a bozo after the fight, saying whatever he was saying. It was crazy. Like it was
Yeah, I
just a
thought
trash fight overall, though. It really was.
I agree. I thought he clowned
Yeah,
himself with
I
his
agree.
comments in the back end.
Yeah,
And
like
see, I felt like I agree with y'all. I think that Teofimo lost that fight. Without a
yeah,
doubt, I think he lost that fight. And I thought that one scorecard, I forget who it was, but one of the judges had like a 6 round
117,
lead or something like that.
112.
Yeah, I
117,
thought, what
112. I
in
was
the
like,
hell was you watching? What were you
What's that?
what were you watching? That was
11.
terrible. But give me a second, EJ. We definitely gonna go to you. But
yeah, I want to see what he say on
I
it.
I agree that Teofimo should have lost,
Right.
but I hate Ortiz. It wasn't an impressive performance. It was stick and
Not at
move the
all.
whole time. It
Whole
was
time. Yeah.
backpedaling. If he would have won, although he deserved to win because he did out hit the guy, um, I would have hated to see the belt change hands like that. Like I
Facts.
probably
See?
would have felt better if it was just a
Draw.
draw.
Give me a draw.
Yes, I
Okay.
would have felt
Yeah.
better if it was a draw.
See,
That's
I
my
didn't
only
want
thing.
that to
But he
happen
definitely
either.
he did outfight Tiafimo in my opinion.
Yeah.
But EJ, what you got?
So I will say this about the so Ortiz, right? Now, yes, Ortiz
You kind of going in and
did
out.
fight. I'm sorry. You got me now? Good.
So
Ortiz did fight. Yeah, Ortiz did fight in a more like backpedaling. Yeah, he was backpedaling. He backpedaling a lot. Right. Retreat mode. However, to me, Ortiz outboxed Teofimo though. Right? Like think about it. Although Ortiz was not well, he wasn't aggressive, but when he did land, he outlanded Teofimo, right? And there were rounds where Teofimo was 100% outclassed, and he looked like he lacked confidence, right? Which I know why he's using Terrence Crawford. He's trying to build a fight for clout and all that, but Teofimo does not need to try to fight an elite fighter like Terrence Crawford, right? I think Devin Haney with that performance, Devin Haney will easily outpoint Teofimo Lopez because Ortiz, again, who was not aggressive, Ortiz, who was again was like we saw a lot of retreating, right? Just imagine Haney using his jab, right? Being aggressive, stepping to
Yeah,
him.
he would
Shakur
just be all over him.
Steven being aggressive, stepping to him. So in my opinion, it was a born fight, right? It wasn't no very, very lackluster. However, Jermaine Ortiz did win that fight in my opinion. I scored it 116, 112 for Ortiz, and I don't think anyone can defend Lopez in the context of him winning the fight. You know, I mean, Lopez made comments alluding to the fact how can Ortiz win with him fighting what he fought? You know, but guess what? Ring generalship, right? Who controlled that? It was Ortiz. Ortiz made that fight the fight in which the man he believed that he could win. It's still a decision, but I believe that he should have won by decision.
Yeah. And ladies and gentlemen, if y'all watching, we definitely apologize for the audio issues. EJ, you were kind of coming in and out, but we got for the most part we got a chance to get what you were saying on that. And him calling out Crawford, yeah, Crawford will run through the guy. Devin
Man,
Haney would run through the guy.
yes.
So it definitely was a very unimpressive showing for Teofimo Lopez. And I like I said, I'm with you guys. He definitely lost that fight. It was definitely an L. But he definitely it was even worse when he got the mic at the end. I mean, no,
Right.
he made an absolute fool out of himself, completely classless.
Classic.
Um, and it was just some of his comments were just idiotic. I mean, the
And
fact that
you know
the
what else
announcers
really
had to
surprised
apologize
me?
for him. Go ahead.
What really surprised me about Teo was that when Jermaine, that game plan was so cold, he went southpaw out the gate, and it surprised me that Teo could never cut the ring off on him. I was like, what the
Yeah.
hell? Where's the Teo that beat Josh Taylor? Who is this? Like, there's two different Teos, bro, and that bad Teo showed up that night. It's crazy. I was like,
Yeah, yeah,
he looked like an
that's a
amateur.
part of the game.
Am I
You got to
wrong in
cut off
thinking
that
that he
ring.
looked like an amateur that night? He looked amateur that night, bro. He really did. Am I
Yeah,
tripping?
he wanted the fight to come to him, but we all know that's not how everything goes. And if you
Right.
going against a Haney, Haney does that a lot. Like I mean,
Man,
lately Haney's been standing in his last couple fights, but historically Haney has been the kind of guy that moves around a lot in the ring. So if you can't deal with that from Jermaine Ortiz, you definitely not in the same class as a Devin Haney.
at all.
Um, but speaking about Devin Haney, let's go ahead and move on. The last topic of the night. Devin Haney was announced for an April 20th showdown against Ryan Garcia. And we've already saw the two of these guys get into a little dust up um, at their last little meeting this past weekend. Big money. What do you think about this fight? Are you anticipating it? And early, who's your early pick to become the victor in this fight?
I mean, I love boxing, so I'm always anticipating a good fight. And it's some big names, so it's cool and all. But I think Haney's gonna beat the hell out of him. I think we'll see a better Ryan. He's been with Derek James, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna have a different style. He's gonna be a little bit more aggressive. I want to see if he got better defensively, because if not, he's just gonna get up out of there real quick. I'm not expecting Haney to get him up out of there and knock him out like Tank did, but Haney will do what Haney does, and he'll beat him up. He'll look victorious and glorious in doing so. But yeah, it's gonna be a big money fight. A lot of people will buy it. You know what I'm saying? They'll sell it well. You know what I'm saying? I like the drama. I like Bill Haney's messy ass, and I like the whole situation. You know what I'm saying? It's great. Like, for real, I'm a fan of it, bro. So I'm here for it. I wanted Haney to fight Tank so bad, but maybe we'll get it later in the future.
Yeah, I will say that I am anticipating this fight. I think it'll be a entertaining fight, a very entertaining fight with these two guys.
No doubt.
Um, Ryan Garcia is very good at selling a fight. He is a
For sure.
promo king. Um,
Facts.
but
Yes.
one thing that he doesn't have going in his favor is that there's no rehydration clause in this fight. And
Mm,
if anybody knows Devin Haney, without that rehydration clause, this man's gonna come in as a super middleweight, damn near. He gonna come in at
man.
65 or 68.
Yeah.
And his power seems to have translated way more in him moving up because he
Yeah.
can put on that extra weight. So he might hurt this boy.
Right.
He might hurt this boy. I don't. Maybe not a knockout on the canvas, but an overwhelming TKO is a strong possibility. Um,
No doubt. I can see that.
so I definitely I got Haney in this fight. I think Haney runs through the kid. EJ, I know you had some sound issues, but would you like to chime in at all?
I'm just glad the fight is being made.
Yeah.
I'm glad the fight is made. Like, think about it. We had we're in an era now where a lot of fights are being hyped up via Twitter, right, or X, right, formerly Twitter X, and fans are left to wonder if these fights are actually going to be made outside of Twitter or X, right? So, like the fact that Devin Haney, say what you want to say about him, right? Some people don't like his style. Some people don't like his dad. Some people don't like some of his recent antics. But overall, Devin Haney has shown that he will make fights. He would try. Like he went overseas twice. Not once, but twice.
Yeah.
For a big fight, right? And this Ryan Garcia fight, Devin Haney made the fight happen, right? He made the fight happen. And so that's what I'm impressed with the most is that these two, like you said, Ryan Garcia coming off of, with the, he's showing that I don't care that I lost the tank, right? I'm here. I'm back. I'm not afraid to lose a fight. I want to make the big fights happen. So when you have two young fighters that are willing to make the big fights happen, right, and they don't let the politics get in the way, or they do whatever they can do to make sure. I know people are saying that EJ, you tripping because Devin Haney is dodging Tank Davis, but in my opinion, I believe that there's a lot behind the scenes that's preventing that fight. And if you go and listen to YouTube, listen to Ryan Garcia. Latest interview, I believe it was with Fight Hype, right? Don't quote me on that one, but I believe it was Fight Hype. But Ryan Garcia stated that Floyd Mayweather, because he's like a special advisor to Garcia now, he stated that Mayweather actually told him to take the Rolly fight, right? The Rolly Romero fight, so that they can fight for a belt and make the Haney fight after that, so that fight can be more lucrative. It'll make more sense down the line, right? But Ryan Garcia stated he went against that advice, and he went ahead and made the fight that he believed that he wanted and that the fans wanted right now. So I give kudos to the fighters just for making this fight. Now, going to the boxing side of it, that fight, Devin Haney is going to walk through Ryan Garcia. He's going to walk through him, right? And the Regis Prograis fight showed me that some fighters, the power does not carry up, but that wasn't the case with Devin Haney, right? Because Devin Haney had a reputation of being pillow-fisted, right? But that pillow-fisted went out the way because I believe that Devin Haney eventually is going to settle in at 47, right? And maybe towards the latter part of his career, he can probably fight at 54. But I believe that he's really going to be a 47 fighter. He's going to spend maybe after a fight or two at 40, he's going to be spending 5 or 6 years at the 47-pound division. And it looks like whatever they're working on, he's sitting down on the power shots. So he already has a very nice jab, right? He moves around the ring well, very good angles. And if he adds just enough pop, right, to put somebody down like he did Regis, this fight, I can see this fight ending. I can see a late stoppage in favor of Devin the Dream Haney.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly there. And you mentioned Tank. A lot of these fights aren't happening with Tank because Tank has already said that he doesn't feel comfortable in moving up in weight class, and no one is taking these rehydration clauses to come down and fight Tank right now. It's unfortunate because when they were all there together, we should have had these fights happen. But like I said, these fighters don't believe in the rehydration clauses. I do, because I don't agree with you fighting for a 140-pound title and coming in at 165 pounds. That's something I've never really understood how they're able to do that, but they are. And none of them are giving up their rights to do that. So I totally understand it. But
it's a part of the game.
Speaking of Tank too, I know EJ, you wanted to talk about the Conor Benn situation, and also Shakur Stevenson, because we talked about his short-lived retirement, and I think that went how we pretty much all expected it to go.
Facts. It was
But
cap.
EJ, why don't you speak on that Conor Benn situation also?
So it's interesting. It's interesting, John. Like, I mean, Jay, like where we have the situation where Tank has stated, right, that, you know, I'm a 35-pound fighter, or the situation where it's like, if we do fight above that, it's a rehydration clause. But with Conor Benn, as it appears that none of that is being enforced at all. That all of that is thrown out the window. That he's going to fight Conor Benn. It looks like as of right now, things could change. That rehydration clause is not going to be an issue. And Conor Benn is a bigger fighter, naturally bigger fighter than Tank, right? But Tank is taking that fight. Now, there are some rumors that are, like, if you follow a lot of boxing channels on YouTube, right, there are some rumors out there that what's going on is that that the bag is over there with Eddie Hearn, right? The bag is there, and that Tank just can't turn down that bag, and he believed that Conor Benn, with his country behind him, that's a very lucrative bag, but also is a fight that Tank feels that he's going to get a wider fan base, right? He's going to make a lot of bread from that fight, and it's going to be a clear, although to me it's clear now that he's the A side in any fight with Devin Haney. He's the A side in any fight with Shakur Stevenson. He's the A side in any of those fights. But right now, I don't know. I just find it interesting that for the Conor Benn fight, some of the reasons why he stated that he would not fight Devin Haney. You know, and again, Conor Benn has been busted for PED usage. So when he talked about Devin Haney, you know, with the get snack out of boxing and things of that nature, you know, and then he's not going above the 35, or he's not a 140 fighter, but he's going to fight Conor Benn, right? It looks like that fight's going to be at 47, I believe. Yeah, I got to double check that. It may be
47
or 40. Was it be at 40, or would it be a catch weight?
I thought it was still. I thought it was gonna still be at 35, but I could be wrong on that.
No. Conor Benn, because we talked about the rehydration clause, right? Let's check out how, like, what did Conor Benn balloon up to, right, in his last fight? Because he had a picture of him on a scale. I'm gonna pull up the accurate. I'm gonna pull up the accurate weight in his last fight. Let me see. Conor Benn ended up going up to. Let me pull up just a second. But while I'm pulling it up, do you guys see? Do you guys see Tank Davis and Haney fighting? Let's say they both got the Haney Garcia fight, and it looks like we're getting the Benn Davis fight. Do you see those two fighting if they both are victorious, which I believe they both will be? Do you see that as that being the next big mega fight?
I think as much as I want to see it, I don't think we'll see it. It seems like between each of those guys, there's one excuse or another.
Right.
From Haney's side, saying that Tank won't take the money, or Tank's side and Haney won't take the clause, whatever the case is. It seems to be excuse after excuse, and I think Haney is just gonna keep moving up at this point. Like you said, he's probably not gonna stay at 140 very long. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, I don't see Tank moving up anytime soon. I think he's gonna stay put and take what he can get there. I think we see him against Shakur Stevenson before we see him against Haney.
Facts.
And that's a fight that I can't wait to see. Tank versus Shakur. Although Shakur wasn't very impressive in his last performance, but I think the way they match up, him and Tank would be a smash. But Big Money, what you think about that?
Yeah, I agree completely. For whatever reason, they won't make that fight. I think it's personally because of that footage we saw. Tank beat the hell out that boy in that sparring session. Bill and them know it. They don't want to. They ain't gonna make that fight. And then Floyd, You know how Floyd feels about Devin. They love Devin. They're not gonna make that fight, bro. They're not. I personally think we'll see Shakur versus Haney before. I think that we'll get that fight. I think this time when they get back to the table, whatever they offer, I think Shakur will take it. He know he messed up. He should have took the little what was it, 25%? He should have
Yeah, he
took
should
that.
have.
He
He
should have
should
took it,
have.
bro. You supposed to take that. You should take that
Who
opportunity.
Shakur?
Yeah. He's
Yeah,
supposed to
yeah,
take
definitely,
that, bro. He messed
definitely.
up with that. So I
Yes,
think like when they
yes.
double back, I agree with you too. I think they both successful. They'll try to make it, but it won't happen. And then I think they'll go back to the table with Shakur and they'll offer 26, 27, and he better take it and capitalize on the opportunity. That's it. Straight up. That's what you
I,
gotta
I
do.
I wouldn't be surprised, especially after this last performance, to see Haney versus Teofimo if Haney is successful against Garcia
Yeah, I can see that
um,
too. Yeah.
for those
Oh,
junior welterweight titles
Yeah.
for
do you
undisputed
think?
in that division.
Do you all think that T.O.'s last performance though is a fight that many fans are going to, do you think that performance made fans kind of like, man, you know what? We don't. If Teofimo, if he fights Haney, we accept it. However, people want to see Haney in there with Shakur or Haney in there with Tank.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
think that Teofimo is still a big enough name, and he still got a title. It could be an undisputed matchup.
No
So I
doubt.
think, and people love to hate the villain.
Right.
And at this point, right now, Teofimo has turned himself into the
He's
villain
the
role,
villain.
and people pay big money to see the villain lose.
No doubt. No doubt.
They want to
I'll
see him
buy
get
that
shut
fight.
up.
I'll buy that fight.
And you know, Haney live in Vegas.
Yeah.
That's his home right now. So they would love to see Haney come and defend their honor from
And
all
you
the
know
trash
what?
that
That little
Teofimo
comment,
talked.
that comment that Teo made about black fighters. I need a black fighter to beat his ass for sure. Like I'm tired of Teo, bro. Get him out of here. He from my city too, bro. Shout out Brooklyn, but I don't like Teo, bro. Somebody need to whoop him, bro, for real.
And look,
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you who I think can do it. Right? Um, I think Matias can do it.
Oh,
I think Matias can do it. That last performance, so I think, I think that I think that Teofimo is going to move very strategically to get his name, in the right position for the right fights. But I believe Matias is a guy that should be on the radar for big fights. Although Devin Haney, they did run him, they did shoot that offer out there, and they said they haven't heard back, and I just think a lot of these guys are going to these numbers. I agree. I heard Shakur Stevens interview why he explained why he turned down, why he said that that 25% or whatever wasn't lucrative enough for him. But I believe, look at the position he's in now. Although I think he's making a mistake not
right.
becoming a free agent, right? I think he's gonna look up later down the line like I should have followed the Terrence Crawford example and not stood around for so long, because Bob Arum is probably promising him a shot at Lomachenko if Lomachenko is victorious against Kambosos or Kambosos. So that's probably why he's sticking around, because if he gets those names and that victory and capture those belts, then now he brings a lot to the negotiation table. But I believe that's what's stopping these fights, the negotiation table. But I did find an answer, by the way, Jay. I found the answer. Tank right now, although Bean is kind of calling his bluff, like, if you're not serious about this, man, stop talking. But it looks like this deal may get done, right? Tank is, and it looks like he's willing to accept fighting them at 47. Kind of being ballooned all the way up to over 20 pounds his last fight,
Right.
over 20 pounds. So that bag must be very good, because kind of Ben brings that UK following. So I'm actually not mad at Tank for this, and I believe if he takes this fight, it's probably his segue to being full-fledged at 40. All right. I don't know how that power translated at 47, but at 40, Tank is still would still be a favorite in a lot of fights because he has that one hitter quitter ability.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. That will be exciting. And I agree. I can understand Tank taking that fight because it's a big name, big money fight. And like you said, that additional fan base is nothing, can do nothing but help Tank star rise. So
Facts.
I like it. I like it. I like it. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. The world of boxing is seeming like it's ready for the level up.
Right.
Big Money, did you have anything else you want to add into that before we get on up out of here?
You know what? I want to shout out that kid, Abdullah Morris. Oh my gosh, bro. I'm so excited for this kid's future. Man, I can already see everybody's not going to want to fight him. It's going to be crazy, bro. Dude got a brand, man. I was excited when I saw Keyshawn Davis. I'm more excited for that kid. Oh my gosh, bro. This dude, man. Did y'all see that fight?
Yeah.
Man,
Absolutely.
he's raw, but man, he's nasty, bro. I like him.
The problem is it's boxing politics gonna get in the way, and that's the issue we're having.
They are, bro. You're right.
Boxing politics is too, and I love what Terrence Crawford said, like months ago, where pretty much like the fighters, and he's talking from the perspective of being a fighter, because Terrence Crawford's name could have been, his name could have been way bigger, right? He was promised the Manny Pacquiao fight, right? And the fight didn't happen, and it come to find out, Bob Arum pretty much said that Pacquiao is like a friend to him, and he didn't want to see Pacquiao get hurt. So he kept him away from his lucrative fight. So Crawford is a big advocate. Him and Oscar De La Hoya had a Twitter, little Twitter spat back and forth about that, where he's like, man, boxers need to take their career more in their hands, have more of a say-so. How come the guys outside the ring, the promoters, the advisors, how come they get paid a nice percentage, right, of that paycheck? They get a nice percentage of the revenue coming in for the fight, and they're not stepping in the ring. So fighters need to have more say-so. Crawford, and kudos to Crawford and Spence, because those two made that fight happen. So I believe that's the only thing that I'm afraid of moving forward, is that the politics will continue to prolong big fights. But I love with Keyshawn Davis and the Frank Martin back and forth, the Shakur Stevenson, Tank Davis, Devin Haney, Garcia. I love all the exchanges. I love the fact that these guys, some of these guys don't want to wait, right? But we just need the Twitter fights to start transitioning over to some actual big fights that boxing fans want to see.
And he didn't take it, like he took it, but then he backed out, right? Martin, he was supposed to fight Keyshawn instead of Pedraza, right?
Yeah, but again, the politics. There are some that believe that the philosophy of let that, both of these guys are young, let that fight marinate some more, right, before someone takes an L. And it's unfortunate that the L, taking an L, taking a loss, the whole prolonging is real prominent in boxing. So hopefully that's a subject that we can touch on at a later time.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. But ladies and gentlemen, as always, another fun, spirited conversation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We definitely want to hear from you guys that's watching along. Get at us in the comments. Tell us your thoughts on any of these topics that we touched on today. But ladies and gentlemen, we certainly appreciate y'all. And from us here at On My Sports, we love y'all. We appreciate y'all. And we'll holler.